Hello, my painting friends. Excuse me, got a scuffle in my throat. We are here on our pre-recorded video to do the bunny in the pot class, or the shy bunny. And this is perfect time because it's right around the corner for Easter, so you can have some nice Easter decoration for the house. This one is on a stretched canvas. But the one I'll be painting on today is going to be on a canvas board. So no sides. So first things first, our supplies. We're gonna need a pencil and an eraser. We're gonna need our paint palette, napkin, jar of water. 3 brushes I'm using today are the medium flat brush, the small flat brush, and the rounded brush. My paint colors today are white, pink, black, orange, dark green, sky blue, and a teal. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and start drawing the subject. We're going to start with a pot, and we're going to come down about a 1/4 inch up. We're going to draw about a 4.5 inch line. Then we're going to come up one side and come out a little diagonal, and the same with the other side. Perfect. All right, then we're going to draw some, let's go ahead and just connect these lines actually. This is my type A personality coming out, wanting to be perfect. I'm going to add some curved lines at the end. I'm going to make them kind of big though. And then we're going to connect the top. So from just right above the pot, we're going to want to draw 2 big ovals. There's 1 bunny foot. And there's 2 bunny feet. Now I'm going to take my eraser and just kind of erase any lines that I don't want duplicated. I'm going to erase the lines inside the pot. So I'm going to erase the pot part. I had to think about that for a second. Sorry. I was like, something doesn't look right. I don't want to erase his foot, so I'm going to put that one back. But I will come and finish taking off the pot lines over here, the brim of the pot, I should say. All right. I'm going to fix those curved lines here at the end too. Okay. Perfect. Looking good. I think I see one more line here I need to get rid of. All right. So from here we're going to want to go right on the inner part. So our circle extends out, or our little half circle here at the brim extends out. So we want to go from inside to inside of the brim part. And we're going to draw a little bunny butt. And then from there, right in between his feet, we're going to want to draw his cottontail. Had to do a few circles there to get the right. I'm going to come in and perfect it now. Get rid of any extra lines. There we go. Nice big fluffy cottontail. Not so cottontail. Okay. And then from there we'll also erase the inside of the bunny butt inside the cottontail. Perfect. All right, from here let's go ahead and draw a tulip stem, and then a tulip, and then a blade of grass, a blade of grass, and here we'll have another tulip, and then a couple more blades of grass. Ooh, those are crossing. I'll figure that one out later. Okay, and then down here we'll have a blade of grass and a tulip. So we're just using curved lines for the tulip. And then another sprig of grass, a tulip, another blade of grass, and then one more tulip. Perfect. All right. I think that's it. Is that all we got so far for our subject? I think so. Let's go ahead and put our pencil and eraser away. And let's get started. Go ahead and take that dark green, add it to your palette along with some white. And I'm going to take my bigger flathead brush, I'm going to get it wet, blot it off. I'm going to start with the green. I just want to show you just some basic blades of grass using just a little bit of pressure on the brush. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to come up about halfway on the pot, maybe a little less. I probably went too far going halfway. And then just come taller on the outside of the pot. Okay, now I'm going to show you a different way to do a blade of grass. So you'll take your brush and go one way and then start to twist it halfway through. Twist that brush and then you have a blade of grass. Pretty neat, huh? I was trying to get the hang of it when I first did it, and so trying to twist left and twist right. There's definitely a technique you gotta focus. Okay, and then so this can get tedious, so what I'm going to do is probably about an inch from the bottom of the canvas. I'm going to go ahead and just paint it all green. I'm just going to put a little flat top grass here at the bottom. So I took a little bit darker green and went on the outside lines of the outside of the pot here to kind of hide that. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and now streak the paint like blades of grass. Just different. You can go fast. There's no rhyme or rhythm to this. Just kind of streak it down so it starts to look like grass instead of a painted flat top at the bottom of the canvas. Now I'm going to dip a little bit of white, and I'm going to go ahead and bring some white into this green so we get different color blades of grass. If you feel like, I know my brush is really loaded with paint, it's in the center of the brush, and my bristles are now being spread apart at the end. I want to keep that crisp end at the bristles. So I'm just going to pinch it again and bring white in and just throw in some white blades. Just because it'll mix with the green and give it a good accent. We'll come in and define some more blades towards the end with the white. And then when we add the flowers as well. Alright, so we should have a good pasture of grass so far. Okay, I'm going to rinse. And then we're going to go ahead and move. Well, let's go ahead and do the blades of grass on the outside of the bunny here too. So with the blades, you can go ahead and twist again if you want, or you can just keep your brush the same. You kind of start to lose paint when you twist too, which is okay. I like keeping it flat and then scooting it across down for my stem of my tulip instead of doing the twisting motion. So I'm going to start to glide down, but kind of drag it at the same time. It's a different technique there. Did you guys notice the music? It's like paint class. All right, so I got my blades of grass, I've got my tulips. I'm gonna come back here and kind of fix that blade. I'm gonna rinse. I'm gonna put some teal into my palette now, and we're gonna move to the pot. This one I'd use 2 different size brushes. I'd move to your smaller flathead as well. Go ahead and get that wet. I like to use the smaller flathead at the brim of the pot here. I'm going to curve that line. It's just easier for me to maneuver if I have the smaller brush here. There's just too much going on. I don't want to mess it up. So when you get down towards the blades of grass, I'm just going to have you go, keep your brush standing tall and just kind of blot in between there. And you can get as close as you can try. You can even not get close and leave a white spot too. Kind of give it more of a fun little version of your painting. I think our songs are brought to us today by Kids Bop 26. Thank you, Pandora. We may even hear commercials because we're fancy like that. Make sure you watch your forearm too. I thought I got some paint on me. This paint, if it does get on you, you have the option to disrobe immediately and throw into and rinse with soapy water and then throw into the washing machine, or leave it because it's your paint clothes and then you've just added character to your outfit. I've turned many a clothes into paint clothes. I can't help it. I buy things I like to wear and then I just wear it while I paint. Is my wardrobe supposed to be all paint? I don't buy it that way. So we're going to be doing layers as well. So as soon as you are done painting this, we're just going to let it dry a little and come back and do the same thing over, because acrylic paints love layers. I'll be interested to hear if you want to make a comment, if you prefer the video with a little music or without. if it helps you focus more or not, because you want to whip and nay-nay. Kidding, I'm kidding. My paintbrush is getting very loaded with paint right now, so it's perfect time to kind of rinse. I'm just gonna go over here where it's dry and just, oh no, add a little more paint just to get it out of the brush. And then I will clean. All right, let's move up to these tulips. Let's get some pink into our palette. Not a lot, we've only got a few tulips. Your green may be a little wet still, but you can try to miss it. I like to outline and then paint in the center. So I got a request for a painting. I was super excited. So if you guys ever want to paint something in particular, leave me a message. I'd love to do a little paint class for you. We can walk through the steps and paint. I had a request for a panda bear. I have two panda bears, so I'm debating. I have one that's, he's chomping on some bamboo. And then the other one I have sitting in a cherry blossom tree. So I'm torn between. They're both really good. I like to get my guys involved too. So I was thinking more of the guy, the panda bear eating the bamboo. Maybe I could do both, hey? There's an option. All right, perfect. All right, nothing spectacular. We are gonna let those dry and do one more coat, and then we'll add some definition to those tulips as well. It's looking like my teal's kind of dry, so we could do another coat there. And then, yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna take, I got the paint on here already. I was gonna take my bigger brush, but that's okay. So I'll just rinse and grab my bigger one. Now that everything's outlined and ready to go. Well, maybe it's not. So if it's pulling up the canvas underneath, it's probably too soon to paint over it. So just go really light on your strokes if that's the case. The second coat kind of helps with getting rid of those paint strokes too. Hopefully yours had enough time to dry. Parts of mine did not. That's okay. I can touch it up a little later too. All right. Looks good to me. All right, I'm gonna rinse my brush. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for anyone. That's why I like the pre-record. That way you can slow me down if you need to. Next we're going to make gray. So I'm going to put a smidgen of white to a big squirt of, a smidgen of black to a big squirt of white. And then I'm going to take the end of my brush and just kind of stir it up. My color, my desired color that I want is a light gray. And it looks like I accomplished that. We are going to be mixing a little bit more black into it to get a darker gray to go over our second coat. I think I'm going to switch to my smaller flat brush just to do some outlining. So watch my sleeves again. I guess I should go a little darker. I think this will work though. So I am just outlining the bunny. This is very straight edge lines, just so you know. And then we're going to get into making the bunny fluff here shortly, but I just want the first coat of gray down, and then we'll have fun and kind of start to form him and create him a little more. See how I'll be able to show you how easy it is to make his fluff too. And you guys might even have your own creative ways of that already too. Thanks for sharing all your pictures from the paint classes prior. I love seeing those. You guys are just so creative and such awesome painters. So I'm so glad to have you in class here with me. All right, I think that's good for the bunny butt. So we'll rinse that. We're gonna come back to our tulips. So we got that second coat of pink going on. This one can even be, you don't even have to get the whole tulip because it'll give it that two-tone look too, of a light pink and a dark pink. Add some more definition and character to the tulip. Okay. I don't know why I rinse my brush. I have such a habit of just rinsing after every color. So I rinsed, I squeezed my bristles. Now I'm going to come and outline the sides of the tulips and maybe bring it up through. I will not be rinsing my brush. I'm just going to keep dabbing my brush into the white and applying these beautiful white streaks to the tulip. Looking good. Perfect. Okay, rinse your brush. Get the white and pink off. Hopefully your white doesn't have any green or pink or teal involved, because we're going to apply the white to our feet and our bunny tail now. If your gray is still really wet, just be super careful around here. please paint over that pencil line for sure. This is white, so the awesome part is you, even if you go outside the line, it doesn't really matter. We're just laying a layer of acrylic down because we are going to incorporate a little bit of gray to it, which you might pick up from the bunny butt too. And if you do, just go ahead and start mixing it into that tail, because that's exactly what we're going to do. And you can use curled strokes too to kind of give it that fuzzy tail look. I will also be pulling that gray into the foot as well. So if you pull some from the bunny again, that is a-okay. Next foot. Ooh, yeah, pulled some gray there. I feel like the white kind of just cleans up any of the lines from the blue from painting the pot. I still go. Oh, yep, I went over into the tail, but that's okay. I was smoothing out my lines too much. Okay, so it's okay if there's a lot of white kind of glooped on there. You know what, for fun, let's just stick the tip of the paintbrush in the gray, and let's make those swirly lines in the foot, and just go ahead and give that foot the definition, the shading, the shadow it needs. He's got those dirty bunny feet from being in the garden. Ever so light. It's like a cloud of gray. Hopefully this one's not too dirty. I just pulled a bunch of gray. Perfect. Well, I'm thinking we might as well do the bunny tail too, since we're at it. Oh, that was a lot. So just kind of circular motions, make the fuzz. Wipe the sides of the brush, kind of get all that gray off the brush, just so you can mix it in. Perfect. Looking good. All right, let's clear our brush. Looks like we can do another coat of gray on the bunny butt, so let's go ahead and do that since it's dry. I guess, you know what I think would be better? I'm gonna add just a smidge more of black. I wanna make it a little bit darker here. And I wanna start adding that fluff I was telling you about. Don't forget to wipe the tip of your brush off. So if this paintbrush gets loaded where the paint's kind of in the center, that's good, because that's going to just help with the fluffing. And I'm wondering, the bigger brush wouldn't help. Let's just see if we can't fluff a little with the smaller brush here. So I'm just going to dab right on the outskirts of the line of the bunny butt. Those little hairs pop out. And that's okay if he's having a crazy hair day. I think we've all had some of those before. So it should be a little darker, and if it is dark enough, then just go ahead and do your second coat. You can blot away. Just kind of give it that fuzz look by blotting. I'm even gonna blot where the bunny tail is. Kind of just going around. If it's not perfect, that's totally fine, because nothing ever is, right? I'm loving my fuzz. Looking good. We don't want the fuzz extending on the pot so much. You can. We're going to be doing some details around there though. All right. We may need to come back in and do another line of fuzz. And if you can do that now, go for it. We might have to go back again once it's dry as well. Okay. That's looking good. Gosh, I feel like I need another coat of teal on my pot. But that's okay. We're going to break for a second. And when I mean break for a second, I mean we're going to put a bunch of blue for the sky. So we're going to break on the grass, the bunny, the pot, the tulips. I'm gonna stick with my small one right now because I want to do blue around the grass blades first. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my dark blue and put that in my palette now. And I'm gonna mix. I'm gonna take a scoop of white and just set it in the center here, and just take a dab of my blue and just kind of mix that together. So I kind of have a base color going. And go ahead and just start painting. I'm going to outline a little bit first here. I really only want my small brush for right around in here where the grass blades are. So if that's what you want to do first, I think I'm going to do that so I could switch to my bigger brush and move on to more territory. More blue skies must be blue. So I'm dabbing around the grass blades. I kind of like the effect of leaving a little white canvas behind. Kind of give it that canvas painting look, I suppose. Ah, pulled some green right there. Okay. I'm going to switch to the bigger brush for just a little bit. This is going to be the most tedious part, is just getting this blue sky in. It's kind of a little opposite of what I do in my paint classes when the kiddos are with me. I'm always talking about, oh, let's do the background. I teach them the background first, and here I am implementing the background not first. But I just love the way my painting came out when I just took the time to make the background not look so professional. I can even take a little teal in with this too if you want to really start to mix things up and get all kinds of colors going. Feel free at any time, turn your canvas. Get in where you need to get in. Trying to get as close as I can, still wanting to leave a little white. Easier said than done though. And it's okay if you get different color blues. You don't have to try to match your sky. I feel like that really makes the painting pop too, when you just have all these fun colors erupting, especially from the sky. And we'll come back in and touch up the grass at the bottom, the grass around the bunny butt. And just be careful around the small areas. Grab that small brush if you need it. I always just get in the zone and I make the big brush work, and I forget that sometimes it would come out better if I just took the time to switch. But here I am not practicing what I preach, so do your thing. I'm going to do some more fluff on the tail. So I'm just going to draw a perfect line around the tail at the moment. I told myself I was going to use a small brush right there. See what I mean? Just trying to give it all at least one direction of swish, maybe? And if you think it's too much blue, you can come back in and add light blue too. There's no rhyme or rhythm to how you want to paint your sky. I do like the second coat on it though. It kind of polishes up those brush strokes. You can still starburst them out, but it won't be as dominant. Get a little teal, get a little blue, get a little white. So my brush has a ton of paint loaded in it. I'm sure yours might too. Feel free on a white part to just splot it, get some paint out. A little dabble do ya. Okay. Hopefully everyone's hanging in there. We're almost there. Almost to the home stretch of the blue skies. Okay, I'm gonna have to move to my smaller brush now. I have procrastinated long enough. Okay, I'm gonna rinse this one out. Always want to get in a good habit of rinsing your brush. Good brush care. Okay, to my little one, I'm gonna use my tailings over here. Mix a little more white to it, a little more teal. All right. I like to keep the brush standing on in around the black grass blades, and that way it could swish in and out as if it was the grass still, if that makes any sense. I hope that does. I'm loving it. I think I'm going to come back in and just kind of do some swishes over here by these blades of grass. Oh, there's still some green in there, so I definitely need to come back. It's not turning out as pretty as I like, but that's okay. A quick, easy way to blend too with what you got, if you don't want to add more paint, is dip your paintbrush in the water real quick, and then just start to smooth out any brush marks that you got going on. Okay. I was just experimenting here. I just dabbed a little white just to see what it would do. I kind of really like these little starbursty streaks I got, and I just want to recreate that a little bit over here. I feel like I'm lacking that. If you were involved with my watercolor painting class I did, I'm kind of using some techniques from that. A little water to a little paint. Next thing you know, you recreated a scene. Perfect. I'm liking it. Okay, I can still see my pencil lines in my grass, so we definitely need to do some more with this grass, along with my pot isn't looking amazing, so I'm just going to throw another coat on real quick on my pot, and then we'll step into the grass next. Fix up my white mistake I did too. This may be a good time. We may just even jump to the shadowing in the pot real quick too, since we'll have the wet paint going on. Perfect. Coming around the foot again. Okay. I need to come around my foot one more time over here. Nice and slow. Okay. So let's get the shading in. I'm gonna not rinse my brush, and I barely put just a smidge of blue on the tip of my brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and, there's like an imaginary line because it's so painted over right now, from the bottom of the brim and the top of the brim, right? So I'm gonna envision that line and draw that line and then start brushing downward into my pot. And because the paint is wet, this is a perfect time to start shading that so it's not so predominant. So just right down into the pot. I can barely see my shading. You may need to dry brush your napkin, not soak your brush on the napkin to get those tight bristles again. I'm going to come over here on this side. I have way too much paint this time. I'm going to come over here to this side and do this line. And I'll bring it down into the pot. Okay, I don't know how far that shading went. The light is just too bright here. So I'm gonna dry brush with color this time. Kind of bring in some more shading down the side of the pot here. Kind of want to do it over here some more too before it dries up. If it dries up, wet the brush. Kind of wipe the brush and then come back in and blend. Simple. Okay, now let's go ahead and do that last one in the center. I've been procrastinating because I'm just never good with measurements. So I think I'm just going to take it here and go across. Hopefully that's straight. Because I'm sitting at an angle. And then we're just going to brush down into the pot again. This one I do recommend a little water for myself at least. I don't know what your brush has going on. And brush down. Alright. Bring it around the toes for fun. Alright, I hope that looks good. We won't know until we're dry. I'm just going to kind of tilt it. I think so. I'm going to have to come back in with some more white around my toes. My bunny toes. Alright, so we have a hard white line at the top of the brim. So your brush is rinsed. Go ahead and pinch the bristles. Flatten them out if you need to. Dry brush here and try again. Alright, there's one side of the brim. And we'll go to the top of this one. And the top of this one. Looks straight enough to me. And I think I'm just going to run that white over the dark blue line here. Good. That looks good. You guys liking what you got going on so far? So one's a little more time consuming, that's for sure. I'm gonna come back in with my white and touch up my bunny toes real quick here. Because well, not bunny toes, the bunny foot, because we still have to do the bunny toes. Okay. Fun fact, you may not know, but Trolls is like my favorite show. And I think it's just because it's so positive and upbeat and happy. And it's coming out. The third one is coming out in April. I think it's April 2nd. Oh, I'm so excited. I bought this soundtrack when Trolls came out, like immediately. I was like, oh yeah, I have to have this. This is just too cool. Plus I've got super littles. Well, not super littles. They're bigger now. 3rd grade and 6th grade. But we have fun dancing to it. Don't tell them I told you, but I still think they like to dance to it too, which makes me happy. All right. Ironed out all those details there. All right, let's fix this grass. That is the next step. How's everybody's forearms and sleeves doing? Any paint anywhere? I'm still doing good. Okay, so with the grass, I'm just gonna go straight to dark green. I pinched my bristle tips again. And this is okay if you paint over things, because this goal is to cover up. I don't know if you have it, but I have the pencil line here at the bottom. And it's probably because I didn't incorporate that white in here at the bottom as much. Because, you know, acrylic paints like layers. Sorry, I lost my voice there. Play with your blades of grass again. Go over the blues if you want. Fix any white spots you want. Especially if you didn't. Like, I'm gonna just come in and fill all my white holes from my grass and doing the blue sky. Because that was tough. That was tough. I think I might add a little white, just kind of bring that back in for a new color of grass. Okay, I put too much white, kind of whitewashed out my grass right there. So I rinsed my brush and I've got that hard green blade of grass I'm going to incorporate again. I think I was focused on trying to get rid of my pencil lines. But that's okay. Because if I haven't said it, I think acrylic paints like layers. All right, I think my grass looks good. I still have a little pencil line. I'm hoping my flowers that we're going to do here shortly will help with that. Oh, I see a detail we forgot. Go ahead and rinse your brush. I pinched my bristles again. I'm going to put white at the tip, and I'm just going to come in and do my tulip stems and my grass stems with a swish of white paint to give more texture and character. Doesn't have to be big. If it is big, cool, leave it. There's more character. Okay. We got that. We got the tulip character. Let's come in now with, since we have the white on our brush, and kind of do that bunny fluff around the tail I was telling you about. The crazy hair day. You may need a little paint loaded into your brush to get the right kind of fluff going on here. You can go sideways, left and right. Tails can have a crazy hair day too. And we'll probably come around and do another layer of bunny fluff there. You can come over the gray part if you want. If you like the fluff that's already there, leave it. Or paint over it and do whatever you want. It's your painting. Perfect. Yes, the white will need just one more go through. I'm fine-tuning my hairs right now. Okay. That looks good. While we let that one dry, let's take our small flat brush, and we're going to use white with it. The tip is going to go in, and we're going to do like a V. So these are going to be, I call them gnats. I don't think they're gnats, but I've never seen a white fly. So I'm just making little white flies all over the place. What would you call these? Let me know. I'm thinking gnat. And these guys are just flying around and landing on stuff. You know, being a gnat, doing the natty thing. I'm putting more of a bunch on each side and just a few on the grass down here. Put some flying up in the air maybe. They're just kind of all over the place. Okay, now we're gonna make a little pink for our bunny toes and our flowers. So go ahead and take the end of your paintbrush and scoop some white up here. And then grab some pink and just start swirling that up. I've run out of pockets, so wherever you want to find a pocket to mix paint, go for it. You don't need a lot. Wipe the end off. I like to take the end of my brush. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm making the flowers at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we might have lost our music, guys. That's okay. It was fun while it lasted, right? All right. So the toes are done. Now we're going to take our rounded brush. Go ahead and get that wet. Dry that off nice and good. Take the water off my bunny foot. Now we're going to go ahead and roll our round brush in that mixed paint, and we're going to draw 1 oval, 2 ovals, 3 ovals, and we're going to paint those in. Okay. Same for the next foot. 1, 2, 3. I think I went a little bigger on that side. Let's see if I can go bigger on this one. Oh yeah. All right, color these ones in. cute. I like it. Okay, rinse your brush when you are done. I need to fix my toe, it's crooked. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, we have a little bug to draw too, but before we do that, go ahead and stick your round brush in the white paint. And we're just gonna add a small little smirk, just some detail to the toe. I love how his foot's dirty, but his toes are clean. All right, I'm gonna come back to my bigger flat brush, and I wanna dunk it in the white again, just kind of load it, and I'm gonna redo my bunny tail here. Get that second coat so you don't see that blue line, the blue horizon line. Tail. I just want to add some more white too in the tail. Ooh, I made a big brush stroke there. Okay, good, good. Now we're going to make the bug. The bug, the bug, the bug. Let's take that round brush, your black, just ever so tiny amount of black. And I am going to take my grass blade above the tulip here, and I'm going to draw a little black line for a body. You can kind of give it some dimension, like it's got a head, and then it kind of comes down into a body. Okay. Rinse off the black. Keep your rounded brush. Just to tip in some blue. We're going to come just behind the head of it, and we're going to draw a big curved line and a second one behind it, like a butterfly wing almost. And I'm going to take a little white to a little blue and kind of mix that and come back in and, oh, that looks just like my sky. Okay, so we're going to stick with dark blue. We're going to come in and just define that wing. And I love that I had the multiple blues on there too. It kind of gave it some definition. Be very so careful around the black. You'll end up with dark blue if you hit it, so it's not like it's a bad thing. You will have to mix a little if you do, and that's okay. Okay, I was able to complete my bug. I'm rinsing my brush now, and then I'm just sticking the tip in white and giving the details to the wing, adding some dots on the outskirts of it, and then a big white dot in the tail of it. But you don't want to do too many brush strokes because you will mix your blue and white. Perfect. Maybe one more big oval over here too. Perfect. Yay. Well, my friends, I want to thank you so much for painting with me today. This has turned out really cool. a little bit longer of a video. But I think it turned out great. I think you guys did great, even though I can't see it. I know what your abilities and your skill levels are, and I know you just crushed this painting, and I cannot wait to see pictures. Take this time now to finish up any details, maybe around your bunny tail. If you're okay with everything, that's great. I appreciate you for joining me today. You can check me out on the Facebook page, Too Cool for School. You can check me out on my YouTube page. And you can also check out harborkidscanvas.com for all kinds of cool stuff that I got going on. Check out images and some things I'm doing now that we are in our new normal. I revamped some services, and I'm just trying to offer some cool stuff for everyone. So once again, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And until we meet again, have a good one.